Now, the all-important Quad summit will also be happening between India, US, Japan and Australia later tonight. Before that, Prime Minister Modi held bilateral meetings with Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison and also with the Japanese Prime Minister Yoshihide Suga. And here's what was discussed. A number of issues, of course, were on the agenda. There was trade, defense, the pandemic, all of it was discussed.
The exclusive club of 4 of the world's top leaders. For the first time, all the Quad leaders sitting across the table. President Biden, Prime Minister Modi, the Australian and Japanese premiers meet on Friday to brainstorm on global and regional issues. The focus is the Indo-Pacific, but the summit being held in an eventful year will discuss the pandemic response, particularly strengthening the vaccine supply chain, along with climate change and education. Ahead of the crucial Quad summit, Prime Minister Narendra Modi met his Australian counterpart Scott Morrison. In the meeting, Prime Minister Modi discussed a wide range of topics, including deepening economic ties between the two countries. Prime Minister Modi also held bilateral talks with his Japanese counterpart Yoshihide Suga. Both are members of the Quadrilateral Security Alliance, or the Quad. And 3 hours before the 4 leaders meet, the Prime Minister will hold his first bilateral meeting with President Biden. The summit in Washington will be closely monitored 11,000 kilometers away in Beijing. The quadrilateral grouping aims at countering the growing Chinese aggression in the Indo-Pacific region. Quad's target is a free and open Indo-Pacific, unconstrained by coercion. It's an informal strategic dialogue between 4 like-minded nations to negate China's expansionism. The first in-person summit of the Quad comes at an important time, with the Indo-Pacific undergoing a geopolitical churn. And with Biden taking the lead in hosting it, the United States is signaling its resolve to defend its interest in the Indo-Pacific. With Geeta Mohan in Washington, D.C., Bureau Report, India Today.
So you're going to see the first in-person Quad summit happening later tonight. Geeta Mohan is reporting all the latest updates from Washington, D.C. Geeta, what really can we expect? Why is there so much focus right now on the Quad summit?
Well, it is the biggest summit when it comes to India and the Security, Trade, Connectivity Alliance. The quadrilateral leaders are here: US, India, Japan, Australia, and they're going to meet here at the White House. It is going to be the first in-person quadrilateral summit. We've seen a lot of changes in the Quad. In only 1 year's time, it has gone from being an official level, that's joint secretary level, to ministerial level, to now heads of government and heads of state. That's how important this entire grouping is for all the countries concerned. We know that there's a lot of conversation with regards to AUKUS, that's Australia, UK, United States of America military alliance, and whether if that is going to impact Quad. Many say that it would impact, but not negatively, because now there is a focused attention on military alliance helping Australia to counter China. So that's a plus, but a lot others say that Quad could have been more than just the kind of grouping that it is today. It might grow, it might look stronger, but we do know, and we're given to understand from sources within the government, that there is going to be an important announcement in terms of deliverables from the Quad. So we'll watch out for what the joint statement is really going to come out with. But Quad is not just going to confine itself to the Indo-Pacific and China. It's not about containing China, most officers say. It's about telling China that they cannot continue bullying other countries. And India or other countries like Australia, Japan, the United States of America speak not just for themselves, but for the smaller island nations, the smaller countries that China has been bullying in the Indo-Pacific. So that's going to be a focus area. But we're also given to understand that Quad leaders are going to discuss the situation in Afghanistan.
And we'll track the latest updates on the Quad Summit as well. What can we expect as the deliverables? We'll be tracking that. Geeta, for the moment, thank you very much for joining us on this broadcast. Now, China is going to come up in the Quad Summit. Let's also tell you about how China seems to be time and again very publicly backing the Taliban government in Afghanistan. This time, China's chosen to hit out at the United States for going ahead and imposing sanctions on Afghanistan. China urged the US not to use frozen foreign exchange reserves of the war-torn country as what they call a bargaining chip to exert political pressure on the hardline group, the Taliban. Addressing the G20 foreign ministers via video link, Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi also demanded the rushing of humanitarian assistance to Afghanistan without any delay. He highlighted China's decision to provide 200 million yuan, that is 31 million US dollars aid, which includes 3 million vaccine doses. Wang also said that the US asked the US, in fact, to release frozen foreign reserves of Afghanistan Central Bank. The US has frozen about 9.5 billion US dollars in assets belonging to Afghanistan's central bank and stopped also shipments of cash to Kabul in a bid to keep the Taliban government from accessing the money and misusing it.